Hey, if it's good enough for Bruno Mars, it's good enough for me. Hi everybody, it's me, Jill. Welcome to Jill Informed. Before we begin our Real Housewives recap, I feel the need to address the fact that this is going on with my hair. Yeah. I've not been feeling well this week, so in an effort to get this out on Wednesday afternoon so that you guys can watch before the next episode of Real Housewives airs, I found myself in this situation. Because I've been coloring my hair a lot, I am trying not to put heat on it quite as often. So every once in a while, I like to let it air dry, and this using big rollers is a way I can let it air dry without getting too frizzy. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get started dishing the dirt about Real Housewives of New York, Season 9, Episode 9, 2 weeks notice. Like I said, I haven't been feeling well this week, and so this episode's going to be a little bit random. These are just some observations I made in no particular order. We are continuing with the saga of Luann and Tom, unfortunately. We're still in the Berkshires, and as this episode ends, it is another to be continued. So who knows, this could go on for 5 more weeks. I'm not even going to speculate anymore. For now, we are continuing our conversation where the ladies are have now stepped in and are confronting Luann a little bit. I say confronting, but as I said before, I do believe these women have some genuine concern for Luann, and that's why they keep trying to bring it up and talk to her about it, but she knows she does not want to have this conversation. She does not want to be confronted with anything because she does not want to have to act on anything. She has made up her mind. She's going to marry this guy. End of story. Dorinda, or one of the ladies, I can't remember, brought up to her they had heard that she and Tom were fighting a lot. And Luann's response to that is, well, of course, Tom and I are passionate. Tom and I are passionate. So we're both passionate people, so we have lovers' quarrels. Who doesn't? Oh, God. Ew. First of all, what century are you from? Who says lovers' quarrels? That is right up there with, like, the word moist. And Dorinda's boyfriend, John. Those are all super high on my creepy meter. But Luann, it's not a lover's quarrel when you're quarreling over his passion for other women. That's the time to, like, take a step back and reassess. It's not exactly run-of-the-mill wedding jitters stuff. So Ramona says to her, well, I mean, as long as you know Tom is still doing the same things he's always been doing. And Luann said, of course he is. He's a 49-year-old man. I'm not going to change him. Of course he still does all the same things he's been doing. What are you talking about? And she said, I'm still kissing other women. And Luann goes, come on, Ramona. He's not doing that. He's with me all the time. When would he have time to do that? He's with me 24/7. And none of the women said this, but and I'm wondering if you guys too, were at home screaming at the TV, he's not with you now? You're in the Berkshires for the whole weekend or whatever, however many days you're there. Where's Tom now? Stop acting like there's been no opportunities for him to get with other women. It's just ridiculous. Then, in a rare moment of Bethany kind of sticking up for Ramona, Luann says to Ramona, don't you have anything better to do? Bethany actually steps in and says, no. Then help her friend not make a mistake? No, there's nothing better to do than that. I really do think that Ramona and Bethany are showing genuine concern. They've both been through bad situations. Ramona even said, I was the last to know that Mario was cheating on me. That doesn't feel good when the whole town knows it. Bethany, as we learn, is going through a whole bunch of crap with Jason right now, even though they're divorced. So both of these women have like been there, done that. But it's Carol who says what I've been thinking all along, and that is, I'm not worried about Luann. She's a grown woman. She's got kids. She knows exactly what she's getting into. Truth. Anyway, a lot of goofy things are happening in this episode. Like, the ladies go into a different sitting room and decide they're going to light a fire. Okay, no, don't do that. That's not okay. You are a guest in somebody's home. Ask first if it's okay. So what they've done is start a fire in a fireplace where the flue is stuck shut, and the smoke, oh my God, you can see the smoke billowing out, filling the room, and covering these gorgeous wooden ceilings she has in her home. Dorinda was very kind and diplomatic about it, and oh no, you guys, I don't think that fireplace worked. And then one other, just a little funny thing, this is a Dorinda-ism. She says, no, get out of here, get out of here. I don't want anybody to get smoke inhalation. Inhalation. Oh, Dorinda. There's also this funny little scene where Sonia tells Ramona, hey, I think Bethany is really kind of lightening up with you. And Ramona said, yeah, I know, I think we're getting along. And Sonia said, no, I mean, it's just that it seems like she's ignoring you. Like, she doesn't care if you're in the same room or not. I love how low the standard is for what's progress for somebody's relationship. Hey, she doesn't care if you're in the same room with her. Good going. I also have some random clothing observations for this episode. Number one, what was Bethany wearing? What was that jacket she was wearing? It seemed rather formal for the occasion. I don't know, it was these giant shoulder pads and these big like braided rope. I don't know if it was part of the jacket or if those were necklaces. Like gold buttons, and it was kind of like a majorette meets Michael Jackson kind of, I don't know, I didn't understand it. It seemed very dated, it seemed old for Bethany, and it seemed so formal for the get-together. It also looked very uncomfortable. The other observation is that Luann is getting some mileage out of that fur shrug. This has got to be at least the second or third time I've seen it. And you never see these housewives wear the same thing twice. But this little fur shrug, I think the first time we saw it was her dinner with Dorinda and Tinsley. That was maybe episode 2 or 3. She's wearing it again here, and I feel like I saw her in it one other episode. But, I mean, good on you, getting some use out of it. I've just never seen the housewife do that before. The other thing is Ramona has the exact same sweater in 2 different colors, and she brought them both to the Berkshires. Did anybody else notice that? Like the last episode, it was like a cream colored, and it's got these 2 like diagonal zippers at the hip. That's how I knew. It's like a little bit longer in the back and shorter in the front, and it's got these 2 diagonal zippers. It's a cute sweater. But then she had the exact same sweater in a darker color that she was wearing this last night. That's weird. I can't believe she would have packed them both for the same trip. I can see maybe loving a sweater and buying it in 2 colors. But the fact that she's wearing them both in the same weekend trip, that seems funny to me. Unless it's like her line of clothing now. That could be. Maybe she's trying to promote something. And I don't put anything past these women. Also, just an observation that at least 4, maybe 5 of the women were all in leather pants. Just saying, it was an interesting coincidence. There's a scene before dinner where the ladies are sitting around again, talking, and they're talking about relationships. Tinsley's, I think, they're talking about Tinsley meeting somebody. And Luann feels the need to give Tinsley advice, which, Luann, read the room. How do you not know that this might be a subject where you need to keep your mouth shut? You do not come across as being the voice of reason in terms of relationships right now. Something is setting off Bethany, and it's getting her thinking about her own relationship, and she gets very upset and she leaves the room. They can hear Bethany crying in the other room. And we cut to Ramona talking to the camera, and she says, Bethany's crying is sad. It's making me sad. It was like she was a robot that, was programmed to have human emotions, and she's just learning. So when somebody cries, that's sad, right? Yes, good, robot. I mean, it was so weird. She was crying, and that made me sad. Yeah, when people cry, that's kind of sad. It's just such a weird statement to make. Did anybody else feel that way? This episode ends with them sitting down to dinner. It's Dorinda's birthday, and they're all talking about how she cooked dinner for them. Although I seem to remember some woman putting the chickens in the oven, so I'm not sure how much Dorinda did by herself. Maybe. I'm not shaming her. I just noting that she had somebody there helping. Carol mentions that it's been a long time since she's had chicken, and then she feels the need to say, do you know how these chickens are raised? Ugh, it's terrible. I'll show you a video later. Just as they're about to eat. Even Bethany looked at her like, what are you doing? Are you talking about this food we're about to put in our mouth right now? Like, what is wrong with you? And I was thinking the exact same thing. First of all, you're not a vegan, so shut up. Secondly, I feel like I need to keep reminding these women, you are guests in somebody's home. It's her birthday. She cooked this chicken for you. And after you eat, you feel like you need to show everybody a video about how horribly chickens are treated. If you're going to make a statement, don't eat the chicken. Don't eat it, and you cannot have it both ways. The main thing about this dinner was that Ramona appeared to be under the influence in some way, shape, or form. She was acting really crazy and this heightened giddy and giving these long-winded toasts and strange. She tried to apologize to Bethany, and it was weird how she came around and sat kind of half on her chair and whispered it while people were talking. There aren't that many of you that you can have this little side conversation, and the timing was weird. But one thing I will say is that if Sonia did that, these women would be having an intervention. So I do kind of feel bad for Sonia. I don't know why Ramona's getting away with this. I mean, she's not getting away with it. They have all mentioned that she's acting very strange and weird. But I don't think anybody's jumping to the conclusion that she's an alcoholic. So I don't know. And apparently this is going to go on for another episode, so we'll see where it all ends. But for now, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, if you have not subscribed already, please do so. And please like this video if you did. Also, please leave a comment. I love to hear from everybody. I love to hear other people's perspectives. We're watching this together, so it's fun for me to hear your take on things as well. Thanks so much. Till next time. Bye.